We have two significant court filings tonight from the defense in the Delphi murders case.
Now, one could delay Monday's court hearing. The other challenges the evidence that led to the arrest of Richard Allen. Rich Nye spent another day reviewing these court documents.
And he joins us in studio tonight to kind of break down what the defense says is additional evidence that they only recently received.
Yeah, we'll start first with this impending court hearing on Monday. The defense has now filed an emergency motion asking for that contempt hearing against the public defenders scheduled for Monday in Allen County to be pushed back. We're waiting for the judge to respond to several motions about Monday, and I'll have more on that tonight at 6. And now for a third time, the defense is asking for a hearing to overturn the search warrant of Richard Allen's house. The defense says newly discovered evidence supports yet another request for a hearing to show that the search warrant for Richard Allen's home was obtained with false or omitted information. Special Judge Francis Gohl already denied the first two requests in a ruling January 22nd. That was just days after Bradley Rosie and Andrew Baldwin were reinstated by the Indiana Supreme Court. Just back on the case, the defense says they received additional information January 24th about an interview Indiana State Police Sergeant Jerry Holman did with a Purdue professor. The new defense motion says Holman left out key information in his report where the professor detailed how Odinism was likely involved in the murders and how it was very plausible that human sacrifice could be a component. The motion also says the defense received certain geofencing evidence that at least 3 persons were in or around the crime scene at a time while the murders were taking place, according to law enforcement timelines, and none of the owners of the phones have any connection to Richard Allen. The defense says this geofencing evidence from the area would prove that the 3 people were either witnesses to the murders or they didn't see anything because the murders did not happen on February 13th and the bodies were placed in the woods after the search ended. A third possibility, those people participated in the killing of Abby Williams and Libby German. The defense says Carroll County Sheriff Tony Liggett concealed the phone location information and misrepresented a witness statement in getting the search warrant. The motion cites the many instances of law enforcement not telling the truth or attempting to conceal evidence and the truth as to why the search warrant and everything seized at Allen's home should be thrown out of evidence. This is a separate issue from what the court is scheduled to consider at Monday's hearing. And as I told you yesterday, the defense has filed several motions this week to try to delay that hearing so that it doesn't happen on Monday. I'll explain where we stand on that coming up at 6 o'clock.
Wow, it's just a flurry of filings in this case, really.
Yeah,
sure.
Keeps going. Thank you so much, Rich. And we're staying on top of all the developments in this case. There's a timeline of events as well as more on the hearing that's scheduled for Monday. That's on our website, WTHR.com/Delphi. You can use your camera phone to scan this QR code that you see right here on your screen.